What if the next person you meet in English could change your career?
Welcome back to the English podcast for listening and speaking, everyone. This is Emily, and I'm here with Brian.
That's right, Emily. And today we're diving deep into a topic that is absolutely essential for anyone looking to advance professionally. Boost your career. English networking skills for success.
Oh, I'm so excited for this one, Brian. Networking can feel a bit daunting, especially when it's in a second language, but it's also incredibly powerful, isn't it?
Absolutely, Emily. Think of it as building bridges to new opportunities. We'll be breaking down the strategies, the key vocabulary, and the cultural nuances you need to confidently connect with professionals and expand your career horizons.
And before we get started, a quick favor from us to you and for all the other English learners out there. If you find this episode helpful, please remember to like, share, and comment. Your engagement truly helps YouTube recommend our channel so more learners can discover us and improve their English skills.
Your support makes a big difference. And stick around because later in the episode, we have a special, shareable networking moment that you won't want to miss. It's designed to give you a powerful burst of inspiration and practical tips.
You heard him. It's going to be really impactful. So grab your notebooks. Let's unlock the power of English networking.
Fantastic. So, Emily, let's jump right into the core of it. Why is networking in English so crucial, especially now in 2025? The global landscape is changing fast.
That's a fantastic question, Brian. I mean, many of our listeners might be thinking, I already network in my native language. Isn't that enough? What's the specific English advantage, especially when it comes to career advancement?
Excellent point. The reality is the world is more interconnected than ever. English serves as the universal language of business, technology, and so many diverse industries. To truly access the broadest range of opportunity and forge meaningful connections beyond your local sphere, English is absolutely essential. Consider this. Most major international industry events, global conferences, and even the most influential online professional forums predominantly operate in English. If you can't confidently engage in these environments, you're effectively closing off pathways to potential partnerships, lucrative clients, and even invaluable mentors who could accelerate your career.
That makes so much sense. It's like a fundamental truth. Networking creates opportunities. That's a general principle, right? It always happens.
Precisely, Emily. You just used the present simple tense perfectly. We use the present simple for general truths, habits, and established facts. So, networking creates opportunities is a great example, or a strong network opens doors to new possibilities. It describes what consistently occurs. Now let's contrast that with the present continuous. We use that for actions happening right now or for ongoing trends. So, while networking creates opportunities, remains a timeless truth. A sentence like, more people are networking online these days, adapting to digital platforms, describes a current, evolving trend. Can you hear the subtle but important difference there?
I absolutely do. So if I say, I attend virtual networking events every week, that's a regular habit, present simple. But if I'm actively preparing for one, I'd say, I am currently developing my elevator pitch for next week's online industry mixer. That's an action in progress, present continuous.
You've mastered it. Understanding these nuances helps you describe your professional activities with greater precision and professionalism. It's a small detail that makes a big impact on clarity.
So, beyond these general opportunities, what are some of these hidden doors you mentioned? How does strong English networking directly lead to things like promotion or even entirely new, exciting roles?
That's where the real magic happens. Often, the most desirable positions aren't advertised publicly. They emerge through personal referrals, through someone within your network who knows you, trusts your skills, and has observed your professional growth over time. Your network can be a goldmine of information about unadvertised roles, or even a direct pathway to a hiring manager who already has a positive impression of you. Furthermore, a robust English network can significantly amplify your influence within your specific field. When you consistently engage with peers, industry leaders, and potential collaborators, sharing valuable insights and offering assistance, you naturally build a strong reputation. This increased influence can lead to recommendations for leadership positions, speaking engagements at prestigious conferences, or being selected for critical projects.
So it's not just about getting a single job, it's about strategically shaping your entire career trajectory and building your professional brand over time, isn't it?
Exactly. And it absolutely impacts promotion. Consider two equally skilled candidates. The one who has successfully cultivated rapport with key stakeholders, who has demonstrated a strong capacity for collaboration on cross-functional teams, and who possesses a wider, active professional network, is almost always perceived as having greater leadership potential. They've already proven their ability to connect and work effectively with diverse groups.
This is hitting home for so many listeners, I'm sure. The idea of missing out because of a communication barrier is really relatable. How about we do a mini scenario to really bring this to life? I can play someone who was so close to making a valuable connection but just couldn't quite articulate it in English.
That's a brilliant idea, Emily. Let's set the scene. You're at a major international industry event. Let's say a global tech conference. You've just spotted the CEO of a company you deeply admire, someone whose work truly inspires you. This is your chance to make an unforgettable first impression.
All right, here goes my missed opportunity persona. Wish me luck. Hello, my name is Emily. I work in marketing. A nervous laugh. Good. Good event, right? I saw your company. Very good projects. I hope, maybe to work, someday. Similar. Okay, bye now.
Ouch. That felt incredibly real, didn't it? I'm sure many of our listeners could feel that hesitation and discomfort. The intention was clearly there to make a connection, but the delivery unfortunately lacked both confidence and clarity. Let's break down what happened there and then showcase how stronger English could have completely transformed that interaction into an opportunity. First, the opening. Hello, my name is Emily. I work in marketing. The stammering and the sounds immediately signal uncertainty. It lacks directness and doesn't convey what you do or why you're approaching them with immediate impact. The sounds vague and unprofessional. Then, good event, right? While it's a typical small talk opener, repeating good makes it sound unsure and it doesn't invite much expansion. And those fragmented sentences like very good carried projects and I hope maybe to work someday, similar, clearly indicate a struggle to articulate a clear professional thought. The hurried, okay, bye now, is a premature exit, likely driven by discomfort, but it effectively shuts down any chance for building rapport or a lasting connection.
It felt so uncomfortable from my end. I was so focused on desperately finding the right English words that I completely lost sight of what I actually wanted to communicate.
Exactly. Now let's reframe this with powerful, professional English, focusing on immediately building rapport and clearly expressing your specific interest. Instead of that hesitant, vague opening, imagine saying something like this. Hello, Mr. or Miss. I'm Emily Jenkins, a senior marketing specialist with Innovate Solutions, Inc. I've been keenly following your company's innovative projects, particularly your recent work on. It's truly inspiring to see your impact on the industry. Can you feel the immediate difference? It's direct, it's professional, and it instantly shows you've done your research. It establishes your professional identity and your genuine interest. This instantly begins to build rapport.
Wow, that's incredibly confident and precise. And using my actual job title, Senior Marketing Specialist, sounds so much more professional than just, I work in marketing.
Precisely. Now let's tackle the I hope maybe to work someday similar part. Instead of being vague, you can express a clear desire for collaboration or professional alignment in a way that suggests mutual benefit. You could confidently say, I'm particularly interested in how your strategic approach to aligns with our initiatives at Innovate Solutions. I see a significant opportunity for future collaboration between our teams, perhaps exploring how we can leverage to achieve. Or, if your goal is more personal career development within that company or field, you could articulate it this way. I deeply admire your leadership in, and my long-term career objective is to contribute to similar groundbreaking initiatives. I would be incredibly grateful for any advice you might offer on navigating this particular area of the industry and expanding my professional growth.
That's absolutely powerful. It conveys clear intent, professionalism, and a sophisticated understanding of their work and the broader industry. It transforms an awkward, hopeful statement into a compelling invitation for a future discussion. It truly shifts the focus from, I want a job to, I see mutual value and a potential for collaboration. And crucially, it opens the door for a future follow-up or a deeper, more meaningful connection, rather than just an uncomfortable goodbye.
Absolutely. This level of communication doesn't just demonstrate your confidence in English, it showcases your overall professional capabilities. It proves you are prepared, articulate, and truly value the interaction. This is how you strategically leverage an event to spark genuine professional growth and expand your sphere of influence.
So, in essence, strong English communication and networking isn't just about perfect grammar. It's about projecting confidence, intentionally building rapport, and seizing every single opportunity to forge a valuable connection that can directly lead to powerful collaboration and ultimately significant career promotion.
Exactly right, Emily. It's about being able to articulate your unique value proposition, clearly understand theirs, and adeptly find common ground. It's about skillfully transforming a brief encounter at an event into a significant stepping stone for your long-term professional growth. The English language, when used with confidence and precision, becomes your most powerful tool in this process, expanding your influence and reach far beyond what you might initially imagine.
And it's not just about using complex words, is it? It's about being clear, concise, and professional in how you express your intentions.
That's the absolute key. By actively mastering these fundamental English networking skills, you're not merely improving your language proficiency, you are actively unlocking a vast world of new possibilities for your entire career journey. Every confident interaction, every clear expression of interest consistently builds your network and lays the foundation for your professional future.
That was such a clear breakdown, Brian. It truly highlights how crucial English is not just for formal settings, but for those crucial, often spontaneous opportunities that can reshape your career.
Absolutely, Emily. And that brings us perfectly to our next big topic, crafting your professional English persona. It's not enough to just be at the event or send the email. You need to present yourself in a way that truly resonates and leaves a lasting positive impression.
I love that phrase, professional English persona. It sounds like building your own brand, but specifically for networking in English. So where do we even begin with crafting this persona? Is it all about sounding perfect, or is there more to it?
That's a fantastic question, Emily. And it brings us to our first key point. First impressions. We often think of an introduction as simply saying, "Hello, my name is..." But in professional networking, your introduction is so much more. It's your initial opportunity to make a memorable impact. Your very first impression sets the tone for the entire interaction. It's not just about the words you choose, but also your body language, your eye contact, and even your tone of voice. Are you projecting confidence? Is there clarity in your speech? These elements combined create that crucial first impression.
So, it's not just the what, but the how you say it. For instance, if I meet someone new, I shouldn't just mumble my name, right? I should really make an effort to sound clear and project some energy.
Exactly. You just used a great modal verb there, should. We use should to give advice or suggest a strong recommendation. You should introduce yourself with energy, and you should make strong eye contact. These are key actions to convey confidence right from the start. Your tone should be warm but professional, indicating that you're approachable and serious about the conversation. And clarity is paramount. You can use short, clear sentences. Avoid jargon if you're not sure your audience understands it. The goal is to be understood, not to impress with complex vocabulary that might confuse.
That makes so much sense. Sometimes, when I'm nervous about speaking English, I notice my voice gets quieter, and I might rush my words, which definitely doesn't help with clarity or confidence. It's something I need to actively work on.
That's a common challenge, Emily, and being aware of it is the first step. Another critical component of building your professional persona, beyond just making a good first impression, is active listening. This is often overlooked, but it's incredibly powerful.
Active listening. I feel like I hear this term a lot, but what does it really mean in the context of English networking? Is it just about hearing the words, or is there more to it than that?
It's much more than just hearing, Emily. Active listening means fully concentrating on what the other person is saying, not just waiting for your turn to speak. It involves showing genuine interest, asking clarifying questions, and reflecting on what they've said. For example, if someone is talking about their company's new product, you could say, "That's fascinating." So, if I understand correctly, you're primarily targeting small businesses with this new solution? This shows you're engaged and trying to grasp their message fully. You're not just listening for keywords. You're listening for their value proposition and understanding their perspective.
So, instead of thinking, what am I going to say next? I should be thinking, what are they really trying to communicate? What insights can I gain from their words? It's about building rapport by truly understanding them.
Precisely. And it helps you gather information that can lead to more meaningful follow-up conversations or identify areas for collaboration. It also makes the other person feel valued, which is fundamental to building any strong connection.
Okay, so we've got making a great first impression and active listening. What's next for crafting this professional persona? I'm thinking about those quick moments when you only have seconds to make an impact.
You're anticipating perfectly, Emily. That brings us to mastering the elevator pitch. This is a concise, persuasive summary of who you are, what you do, and what value you offer, designed to be delivered in the time it takes to ride an elevator, usually 30 to 60 seconds. The goal of an elevator pitch is not to get a job offer on the spot, but to spark enough interest to lead to a longer conversation or an exchange of contact information. It needs to be articulate, meaning clearly and effectively expressed, and it must highlight your unique value. What problem do you solve? What benefit do you provide?
That sounds challenging. How do you cram all that into such a short amount of time while still being articulate and highlighting your value? It feels like you need to be so concise.
That's where practice comes in, and also leveraging those modal verbs again. You can highlight your key skills in one sentence. You should practice it until it flows naturally. Think about what makes you unique, what your passion is, and how you bring value to your role or industry. For example, instead of just saying, "I'm a software engineer," you could say, "I'm a software engineer specializing in AI-driven solutions that help companies optimize their data processing, significantly reducing operational costs." This is much more articulate, concise, and immediately conveys your value.
That's a huge difference. One states a job title, the other states a problem solved and a benefit delivered. I can see why it's so important to have that ready.
Now, Emily, let's put this into practice with another mini scenario. You're at a networking event again, and you're about to meet someone important, Let's see how you might instinctively introduce yourself if you were feeling a bit flustered or unprepared.
Oh no, here we go again. My awkward self-introduction persona is ready. Wish me luck for another cringe-worthy moment. Hi, I'm Emily. I do marketing things in a company. It's fine. What do you do?
Okay, thank you for that brave demonstration, Emily. Just like last time, the effort was there, but it highlighted some common pitfalls when you're not prepared or feeling confident. Let's dissect that introduction. First, hi, I'm Emily. While polite, it's quite generic. It lacks the immediate professional context. Then, I do marketing things. In a company, it's fine. The stammering, the vague marketing things, and the dismissive "it's fine" don't convey competence or enthusiasm. It completely undersells your skills and the value you bring. It lacks clarity and confidence. The question, "What do you do?" is a common opener, but when delivered with uncertainty, it comes across as a desperate attempt to shift the focus, rather than genuine curiosity. It doesn't invite the other person to share much or to see you as an equal professional.
It felt very uncomfortable to say, and I can only imagine how it sounded. It's like I was apologizing for being there instead of confidently introducing myself.
Exactly. Now let's reframe this awkward introduction into a polished, professional one, incorporating all the elements we've discussed. Imagine saying this with confidence and clarity, really owning your professional persona.
Hello, my name is Emily Chen, and I'm a digital marketing strategist at Tech Forward Inc. My work primarily focuses on helping B2B software companies expand their market reach through innovative digital campaigns. I'm particularly passionate about leveraging data analytics to drive measurable growth.
Can you feel the shift, Emily? This is your professional English persona shining through. It's a confident introduction.
Wow, that's incredibly articulate and concise. It tells you exactly what I do, who I help, and even my passion, all in just a few sentences. It immediately establishes my value and expertise.
Precisely. You started with a clear introduction of who you are and what you do. You then added a specific detail about your expertise, helping B2B software companies expand their market reach, which immediately highlights your value. And by mentioning your passion for leveraging data analytics to drive measurable growth, you show genuine enthusiasm and a results-oriented approach. This type of introduction uses modal verbs implicitly, showing what you can do, what you should be known for. It projects confidence and clarity. It doesn't just state a job title, it tells a mini-story about your professional impact. This persona makes you memorable and opens the door for a more engaging conversation, because the other person instantly knows how you might be relevant to them or what interesting insights you could share.
It's truly transformative. It shifts the focus from just stating who you are to showcasing the value you bring. And it feels so much more empowering to say. I wouldn't rush off nervously after saying that. I'd be ready to actively listen to their response and continue the conversation.
That's the power of crafting your professional English persona. It's about being intentional with your introduction, demonstrating active listening to truly engage, and having a concise, articulate elevator pitch ready. These elements combined help you build confidence, project clarity, and effectively communicate your unique value in any networking situation. It's fundamental to transforming those brief encounters into genuine opportunities for professional growth.
And it definitely sets you up for success in the next stages of networking, which I imagine we'll talk about next, actually navigating those events.
Exactly, Emily. You've nailed the perfect transition. Crafting that strong professional English persona is your foundation. And now we move on to actively using it, navigating networking events with confidence. This is where all that preparation comes into play, turning theory into real-world interaction.
Oh, this is the part I'm both excited and a little nervous about. It's one thing to know what to say, but another to actually walk into a room full of strangers, especially when you're speaking in English, and know how to start conversations, keep them going, and then gracefully end them. What's the first hurdle people usually face at an event?
You've hit on a common anxiety, Emily. The first hurdle is often just starting a conversation with someone you don't know. That's where the phrase break the ice comes in. To break the ice means to make a start or lighten the atmosphere in a social situation, especially by starting a conversation. It's about overcoming that initial awkward silence or hesitation. So what are some good conversation starters? Instead of just saying hi, you can comment on the event itself. For example, "This is a fantastic event, isn't it?" "Have you been to this conference before?" Or, "I'm really enjoying the speaker's presentation. What are your thoughts on it?" These are simple, low-pressure ways to engage with someone.
I like that. It shifts the focus from me and onto something external we can both relate to. So instead of thinking, "What about me can I talk about?" I think, "What about this event can we discuss?"
Precisely. Another great icebreaker is to ask about their experience or observations. You could say, "I noticed you were taking notes during the last session. Was there anything particularly insightful that stood out to you?" This shows you've been observant and are genuinely interested in their perspective. It's an invitation to interact beyond a simple greeting.
Okay, so I've broken the ice. We're talking. But sometimes I find the conversation just dies. It's like after a few sentences, there's a pause, and I don't know how to keep it going. What's the secret to maintaining small talk without it feeling forced?
That's where the art of small talk becomes crucial. Small talk isn't about deep, meaningful discussions right away. It's about finding common ground and building comfort. The secret is asking open-ended questions, questions that can't be answered with a simple yes or no. And here's where our grammar focus for this section comes in: the first conditional. Remember, the first conditional describes a real or possible situation in the future and its likely result. We use if plus present simple, then will plus base verb. So, if you ask open-ended questions, you will keep the conversation flowing.
Oh, I see. So instead of, "Do you like the food?" which is a yes or no, I should ask, "What's your favorite dish here?"
Exactly. That's a perfect example. Or, "What brought you to this event today?" "What aspects of your work are you most excited about right now?" These questions encourage the other person to share more, giving you more to respond to. If you listen actively, which we talked about earlier, you'll find cues to ask follow-up questions or share a relevant anecdote.
An anecdote? Is that like a short, interesting story?
Yes, that's exactly what an anecdote is. It's a brief, engaging story about a real person or event. Sharing a relevant anecdote can make the conversation more personal and memorable. For example, if someone mentions a challenge they're facing, you might share a very brief, related experience from your own career. Something like, "That reminds me of a similar challenge we faced last year, and we found that..." This helps build rapport and shows you understand.
That's really helpful. So keep it open and be ready to share a little bit of myself too. But what about when it's time to move on? You can't just stand there talking to one person all night, right? How do you make a graceful exit without being rude or abrupt?
Excellent point, Emily. Making a graceful exit is just as important as starting the conversation because it leaves a lasting positive impression. You want to end on a high note and pave the way for a potential follow-up. Never just walk away. A polite way to exit is to thank them for their time and express your enjoyment of the conversation. You could say, "It's been a real pleasure speaking with you. I've learned a lot about. I should go and connect with a few more people before the event ends." Or, "Thank you so much for your insights. I really enjoyed our conversation. I look forward to connecting on LinkedIn."
I look forward to connecting on LinkedIn. That's a great phrase. It subtly suggests a follow-up without being too direct or awkward in the moment.
Exactly. And it's crucial to mention that the real work of building your network often happens after the event. That's where the effective follow-up comes in. A timely and well-crafted follow-up message can solidify the connection you've made. We'll dive deeper into effective follow-up emails and LinkedIn strategies in our next section, but always aim to exchange contact information before you leave or make a mental note to find them online.
This all sounds like a well-choreographed dance. I feel like I'm getting the steps. Now, for the real test, the mini scenario. I'm going to be Emily attending her first networking event, feeling totally out of my depth. Wish me luck.
All right, Emily. The stage is yours. You've just arrived at a busy industry event. You see a small group of people you might want to talk to, but you're feeling a bit overwhelmed. Go for it.
Excuse me, can I join? I'm Emily. I work in marketing. It's my first time here.
Thank you, Emily. That was a very realistic portrayal of someone feeling out of their comfort zone at an event. Let's break down what happened and then show how you could have handled that with more confidence and fluency. First, starting with, excuse me, can I join? Immediately puts you in a position of asking permission, which suggests a lack of confidence. While polite, it doesn't project an equal professional footing. Then, I'm Emily. I work in marketing. It's my first time here. The and the vague work in marketing undersell your skills, and saying it's my first time here highlights your newness in a way that might feel vulnerable, rather than an opportunity.
It felt so awkward. I just wanted to disappear. It's hard to think of the right words when you're feeling that way.
Absolutely. That's why preparation and having those go-to phrases ready are so important. Now let's imagine you're Emily, fully equipped with our tips. You approach the same group. How would you confidently and fluently break the ice, engage, and potentially initiate small talk?
Hello, everyone. My name is Emily Chen. I couldn't help but notice the lively discussion you're having. It sounds quite engaging. What's the main topic you're exploring this evening?
See the difference? Immediately, you've introduced yourself with clarity and confidence. You've acknowledged their conversation, which shows you're observant and interested in their interaction, not just waiting for your turn. Then, you've used an open-ended conversation starter. That invites them to share and brings you into their discussion naturally.
Wow, that feels completely different. It's like I'm joining a conversation as an equal, not just interrupting. And it still gives them the space to tell me what they're talking about.
Exactly. Now, let's say they respond and tell you about a new industry trend. How would you keep that conversation going? Remembering our first conditional grammar rule for engaging in small talk. That's fascinating. If this trend continues, what impact do you think it will have on smaller businesses in our industry?
So I'm using if you do X, then Y will happen structure to ask a forward-looking question. That makes them think and elaborate instead of just giving a one-word answer. It creates deeper interaction.
Precisely. Or, if we consider the long-term implications, what opportunities do you foresee emerging from this shift? You are demonstrating active listening, showing genuine curiosity, and providing a framework for a more substantial response. This keeps the conversation flowing and allows you to learn more about their perspective and expertise. You're building rapport and making a strong professional impression.
And when it's time to move on, because I need to connect with other people at the event,
you can gracefully exit by saying something like, "Thank you both so much for sharing your insights on this trend. It's given me a lot to think about. I truly enjoyed our conversation, and I hope we can connect again soon. Perhaps on LinkedIn?" This phrase is clear, appreciative, and offers a concrete way to follow up. It ensures you leave a positive, lasting impression and opens the door for future interactions. Navigating events with confidence is all about having these phrases ready, practicing them, and understanding that every interaction is an opportunity to build your network.
That's incredibly helpful, Brian. It's not just about what to say, but the flow, the intention behind it, and making sure to plan for the next step, the follow-up. I feel much more prepared to break the ice and engage at my next event.
That's incredibly helpful, Emily. It's not just about what to say, but the flow, the intention behind it, and making sure to plan for the next step, the follow-up. I feel much more prepared to break the ice and engage at my next event.
I agree. And you mentioned the follow-up being crucial. It feels like making a connection is just the first hurdle, and then there's a whole race to run to actually build something meaningful. So, what's next after you've had a great conversation and exchanged contact info?
You've nailed it, Emily. The real network building often begins after the initial meeting. Our next section is all about building and maintaining your English network. This is where you transform fleeting interactions into lasting professional relationships. First up, crafting memorable follow-up emails.
Ah, the follow-up email. I sometimes struggle with these. I want to sound professional, but also rememberable, without being too generic. What makes a follow-up email truly stand out?
Great question. A memorable follow-up email isn't just a nice to meet you. It's timely, personalized, and offers value. You want to send it within 24 to 48 hours of meeting. Always reference something specific from your conversation. This shows you were actively listening and makes your email unique. For instance, it was a pleasure discussing the challenges of AI integration in marketing, particularly your point about ethical considerations. This immediately jogs their memory.
Think about your goal. Is it to set up a coffee chat, share a resource, or explore a potential collaboration? Be clear and concise. The key is to nurture that nascent connection. To nurture a relationship means to help it develop and grow, much like tending to a plant. You're not just connecting, you're investing in the relationship's future. I love that analogy, nurturing a connection. It makes it feel like less of a chore and more like a long-term investment. So beyond emails, where else should we be active in building our English network, especially for professional growth?
Without a doubt, LinkedIn. It's the world's largest professional networking platform, and mastering it in English is absolutely essential for global visibility and reputation. Your LinkedIn profile isn't just an online resume. It's your professional storefront. It needs to be optimized to showcase your skills, experience, and professional brand using clear, professional English.
Oh, my profile. I know it's important, but sometimes I feel like it just sits there. What are some active ways to use LinkedIn to build connections beyond just accepting connection requests?
Excellent point. It's not passive. One of the most common pitfalls is sending generic connection requests. You should always customize your connection request message. Don't just hit connect. If you met them at an event, mention it. Hi, it was a pleasure meeting you yesterday. I really enjoyed our conversation I'd love to connect here. If you haven't met them but want to connect, explain why you want to connect. I came across your profile and was impressed by your work I'm particularly interested in and would value connecting with you to learn more. This is your initial outreach, and it must be professional. Outreach refers to the act of reaching out to someone or a group with a particular purpose.
So, personalization is key, even with a connection request. That makes so much sense. And once you've connected, how do you keep the relationship alive? Because, let's be honest, my feed is full of people I've connected with, but I don't necessarily interact with them.
That's where consistent engagement comes in. Engagement means actively participating and interacting. It's not enough to just connect. You need to nurture those connections over time. This could mean liking or commenting on their posts, sharing articles that might be relevant to them, or sending a quick message to congratulate them on a new role or achievement. Let's look at some grammar here, focusing on the present perfect versus the past simple. This is crucial for accurately describing your networking activities. The present perfect emphasizes an action that started in the past and continues to the present, or a past action with present relevance. The past simple describes a completed action in the past. For example, I've connected with 3 industry leaders this week, uses the present perfect because the week isn't over, and the action has current relevance to your ongoing networking efforts. But I connected with a CEO last year uses the past simple because it's a completed action at a specific past time.
So, if I say, I've been improving my LinkedIn profile, it means I started working on it and I'm still working on it, or the results are still relevant now. But if I say, I updated my profile last Tuesday, that's a completed action. Got it.
Precisely. Now, for our mini scenario. Emily, I'm going to draft a LinkedIn message, a bad one, and I want you to tell me why it's bad and then rewrite it to be clear and professional.
Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm ready to critique your poor writing, Brian. Lay it on me.
All right. Imagine I met someone briefly at an event and I'm sending them a connection request with a message. Here's my draft. Hey there. Good to meet you at event. Want to connect? I work in tech. Let me know.
Okay, Brian, I can see what you did there. This is a classic example of what not to do. Let's break it down. First, hey there is far too casual for a professional platform like LinkedIn. It lacks respect and formality. Good to meet you uses text speak, which is highly unprofessional and demonstrates a lack of attention to detail. At event is too vague. Which event? And want to connect? Again, is too informal and demanding. Finally, I work in tech. Let me know. Is very generic, doesn't add value, and let me know is just plain lazy. It also makes you sound like you're just looking for something, not offering anything.
Ouch, Emily. You didn't hold back. But you're absolutely right on all counts. It's informal, vague, and shows a lack of effort. So, how would you rewrite that same intention, connecting after an event, in a way that is professional, clear, and makes a good impression?
Okay, Brian, watch and learn. Here's how I'd craft that message, keeping in mind the need for clarity, professionalism, and a stronger impression. Dear, it was a pleasure meeting you yesterday. I particularly enjoyed our brief conversation about. I found your insights on very valuable. I would be delighted to connect with you here on LinkedIn, to stay in touch, and perhaps explore opportunities for future collaboration. Best regards, Emily Chen.
Emily, that is a masterclass in effective professional communication. Let's highlight why your version is so much better. You started with a formal greeting, dear, which sets a professional tone immediately. You were specific about where and when you met, which helps them recall the interaction quickly. Crucially, you referenced a specific point of discussion, which shows genuine interest and active listening. This is how you nurture the connection from the very first message. Then you clearly stated your intention. I would be delighted to connect with you here on LinkedIn, to stay in touch, and perhaps explore opportunities for future collaboration. This is polite, clear, and hints at mutual benefit, rather than just asking for something. The use of collaboration here highlights a forward-thinking professional mindset, and closing with best regards is a perfect professional sign-off. This message enhances your reputation and improves your visibility as a serious professional.
Thank you, Brian. It's all about showing respect for the other person's time and expertise and making it easy for them to remember you and understand your intention. It's less about a transaction and more about building a relationship.
Exactly. And building that relationship isn't a one-time thing. It requires consistent effort to nurture your network. Think of it as an ongoing process of engagement and outreach. Regularly check your LinkedIn feed, comment thoughtfully on posts relevant to your industry, and share your own insights to demonstrate your expertise. Remember our grammar focus. I've been regularly commenting on industry posts for the past 6 months, uses the present perfect continuous, showing an ongoing activity. Last week, I shared an article about new cybersecurity trends, uses the past simple for a completed action.
So it's about showing up consistently and thoughtfully, not just adding connections, but actually interacting with them. Sending a polite, personalized birthday message or congratulating them on a work anniversary can go a long way in strengthening that connection.
Absolutely. These small acts of engagement demonstrate that you value the connection beyond just your immediate needs. This consistent nurturing builds your professional reputation over time, increasing your visibility and opening doors to unexpected collaboration and opportunities you might not even know exist yet.
So, we've gone from meeting someone at an event, making a great first impression, to now sending that perfect follow-up email and building our LinkedIn presence. It feels like a complete cycle.
It is, Emily. And the more you practice these steps, from initial outreach to consistent engagement and nurturing, the stronger and more impactful your professional English network will become. This solid foundation is what allows you to move into even more advanced networking strategies. All right, Emily, we've laid a fantastic groundwork for building and maintaining an English network. We've covered everything from crafting first impressions to nurturing connections on LinkedIn. But what happens when you're not just looking to connect, but to truly excel in diverse professional environments, perhaps even across different cultures? That's where we move into advanced English networking strategies.
Ooh, advanced. This sounds exciting, Brian. It's like leveling up your networking game beyond just the basics. What kind of advanced strategies are we talking about? Is it about knowing secret handshakes or something more practical?
No secret handshakes, Emily, but definitely more practical. One crucial aspect of advanced networking is mastering small talk, but not just as filler. We're talking about transforming it into a tool to build genuine rapport and add value.
Small talk to add value? I always thought small talk was just, well, small talk, weather, weekend plans, that kind of thing. How does that become advanced?
It becomes advanced when you use it intentionally to find common ground, demonstrate active listening, and subtly position yourself. It's about building rapport, that feeling of connection and understanding between people. For example, instead of just nice weather, isn't it? Зрение. Вы можете сказать, "Это lovely weather reminds me of a recent project where we needed clear skies for drone surveying. What kind of projects are you currently excited about?" You've subtly pivoted to a work-related topic while still being conversational.
I see. So it's not avoiding small talk, but leveraging it. It's using those initial pleasantries to gauge interests and find a natural bridge to deeper conversation, building that rapport. And by adding value, you mean offering insights or ideas, even briefly, that might be useful to the other person.
Exactly. It's about being present, listening for cues, and showing genuine interest. This builds your credibility, your trustworthiness, and ability to be believed, as well as your influence, your capacity to affect someone's character, development, or behavior. When you listen actively and offer insightful comments, even during small talk, you start building that reputation. Now let's talk about something incredibly important in advanced networking, especially in our globalized world: understanding and avoiding cultural pitfalls. Networking across cultures requires sensitivity and awareness of cultural nuance.
Ah, cultural nuance. That's a big one. What might be perfectly acceptable in one country could be completely inappropriate in another, like direct eye contact, for example, or even the volume of your voice.
Precisely. Cultural nuance refers to the subtle differences in meaning or expression that arise from cultural background. It's about recognizing unspoken rules, communication styles, and expectations. For instance, in some cultures, it's customary to exchange business cards with a specific ritual, using both hands and taking time to examine the card. In others, a quick exchange is fine. Failing to acknowledge these nuances can unintentionally damage your professional reputation or hinder the development of rapport. This ties into professional etiquette, the customary code of polite behavior in professional situations. Your tone of voice, your body language, even how you dress can be part of this.
So if you don't adapt to cultural nuances, you might inadvertently send the wrong message. Like if you were too direct in a culture that values indirect communication, you could come across as rude or aggressive.
You've hit on a key point, Emily. Let's use our grammar focus here, the second conditional. It's perfect for discussing hypothetical situations and their potential outcomes, especially when thinking about how to improve. If you adapted to cultural nuances, you would build stronger connections. This sentence structure highlights the importance of that adaptation. The hypothetical situation is adapting to cultural nuances, and the result is building stronger connections.
I love that. So if I were networking in Japan, I would make sure to bow slightly when exchanging business cards, because that's part of their professional etiquette and shows respect. Or, if I encountered someone who prefers indirect communication, I would adjust my language to be more subtle and less confrontational. This really helps frame the strategy.
Excellent examples, Emily. That's exactly how you think about it. It's about cultivating empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, which is foundational to understanding and respecting cultural differences. When you approach networking with empathy, you're more likely to observe and adapt, which significantly boosts your chances of building lasting rapport. Now let's move to the ultimate goal of advanced networking, turning those initial connections and developed rapport into meaningful collaborations and partnerships. It's one thing to know people. It's another to work together on projects or ventures that benefit everyone.
This is where the magic happens. From nice to meet you to let's build something amazing together. How do you make that leap from a casual connection to a partnership or a full-blown collaboration?
It starts with identifying mutual interests and shared goals. During your conversations, whether initial or follow-up, listen for opportunities where your skills, resources, or networks could complement theirs. Then you need to propose a concrete next step. This could involve a separate meeting to discuss a specific idea or sharing a resource that directly addresses a challenge they mentioned. Collaboration means working jointly on an activity or project. A partnership is a formal arrangement where two or more parties agree to cooperate to advance their mutual interests. The process of moving towards a collaboration or partnership often involves elements of negotiation, discussing an issue to reach an agreement.
So, it's about being proactive and seeing where synergies exist, and being ready to negotiate terms, even if it's just about who does what or how you share credit for a project. You need to present your ideas clearly and persuasively, right? This is where strong English communication and a confident tone really comes into play.
Absolutely. Your credibility is built not just on who you know, but what you can do, and how effectively you can communicate that. When you propose a collaboration or partnership, you need to demonstrate your value proposition and outline the potential benefits for both parties. Your influence grows when you can consistently deliver on your promises and contribute meaningfully to shared goals. Now for our mini scenario. Emily, let's role play a networking conversation, but with a cross-cultural element. Let's imagine I'm a tech executive from a culture that tends to be very direct and values efficiency, and you are a creative director from a culture that values building personal rapport before diving into business. I'll start.
This sounds like a perfect way to demonstrate cultural nuance in action. I'm ready, Brian. Let's see how we navigate this.
Hello, Emily. Brian here. We spoke briefly online. I understand you specialize in immersive XR experiences. My company needs a robust solution for our upcoming virtual product launch. Are you available for a project next month? What's your rate?
Hello, Brian. It's a pleasure to connect with you in person. Yes, I do lead a team specializing in XR, and we're always excited by innovative projects. Before we dive into specifics, I'd love to learn a bit more about your company's vision for this launch and how you see XR fitting into the broader marketing strategy. Perhaps we could discuss this over a brief coffee later this week to build some rapport and see if there's a good mutual fit.
A coffee? I was hoping for something more immediate. My team needs a quick turnaround. I'm looking for a clear yes or no on your availability and a ballpark figure for cost.
I certainly understand the need for efficiency, Brian, and I appreciate your directness. However, for a project of this scale and importance, establishing a strong foundation and a clear understanding of mutual expectations is crucial for a successful partnership. A short meeting would allow me to better understand your specific needs, which in turn would enable me to provide a more accurate and beneficial proposal. It ensures we align on the best creative and technical approach, which ultimately saves time and maximizes impact for your launch. This foundational discussion, in my experience, is key to excellent collaboration.
Okay, Emily, stop. That was a fantastic demonstration. My character was very direct, focusing purely on the transaction. Your character, despite the pressure, expertly navigated the situation by politely, yet firmly, prioritizing relationship building and emphasizing the long-term benefits.
Thank you, Brian. I tried to show how important it is to adapt without compromising your own values. My character used the phrase, to build some rapport, which is essential in many cultures before talking business. She also subtly educated your character about the value of that initial connection for a successful partnership and collaboration, demonstrating her credibility and a confident tone.
And when my character pushed for rates, your character didn't give in, but instead reframed it as needing more information to provide a better and more beneficial proposal. This is a subtle form of negotiation. Negotiating the process itself, rather than just the price. It showed empathy for my character's urgency, but also asserted her own professional etiquette and preferred way of working.
Exactly. And the phrases I used, like before we dive into specifics and establishing a strong foundation, are great ways to manage expectations and gently guide the conversation without being confrontational. It's about respecting the other person's communication style while still advocating for your own.
This whole scenario highlights the importance of recognizing cultural nuance. If my character had continued to push, or if your character had just given in, the collaboration might have started on the wrong foot or not happened at all. By demonstrating empathy and a clear understanding of the need to build rapport, you increase the likelihood of a successful partnership.
And it also reinforced that small talk, or in this case, the coffee meeting proposal, isn't just wasted time. It's an investment in building credibility and paving the way for more effective negotiation and ultimately a more productive collaboration.
It absolutely is. These advanced strategies, Emily, are what elevate a basic networker to someone who truly influences their career trajectory. Mastering small talk to build rapport, understanding cultural nuance for effective professional etiquette, and skillfully navigating towards collaboration and partnership. These are the hallmarks of a powerful networker.
So, it's about being observant, flexible, and always thinking about the long-term relationship, not just the immediate transaction, and remembering that your tone, empathy, and credibility are always on display.
Precisely. And speaking of long-term impact and powerful moments, Emily, I think we've just about reached the point in our episode for that special, sharable moment we teased earlier.
Precisely. And speaking of long-term impact and powerful moments, Emily, I think we've just about reached the point in our episode for that special, sharable moment we teased earlier.
Oh, the sharable moment. I almost forgot amidst all this deep dive into cultural nuances and collaborations. So, Emily, what grand challenge do you have in store for me? And for our incredible listeners, this is the part you'll want to clip and share. A real example of networking English in action.
You got it, Brian. For this shareable moment, I want to challenge you to deliver a powerful, professional, 30-second English elevator pitch. Imagine you've just stepped into an elevator with a CEO from a Fortune 500 company, someone whose company you deeply admire and whose goals align perfectly with your expertise. You have literally 30 seconds to make a strong, memorable impression. Are you ready?
A 30-second pitch to a CEO in an elevator? That's the ultimate test of conciseness and impact. Absolutely, I'm ready. This is where all those vocabulary words like influence, credibility, and value really come into play. All right, give me the signal.
Okay, Brian, go. Imagine the doors just closed.
Good morning, Brian Miller. I lead a team at Innovate Solutions where we specialize in leveraging cutting-edge AI to optimize operational efficiency and drive sustainable growth for large enterprises. We've consistently delivered a 20 to 30% improvement in key performance indicators for our clients. I believe our expertise could significantly impact your current strategic initiatives. I'd love to connect briefly to explore how we might collaborate to achieve your ambitious goals.
Wow, Brian, stop. That was incredibly powerful, and I can tell you kept it under 30 seconds, too. Let's break that down for our listeners because that pitch was a masterclass in professional English networking.
Thank you, Emily. I tried to pack a punch.
You absolutely did. First, you started strong and clear. Good morning, Brian Miller. No hesitation, immediate identification. Then you immediately jumped into your value proposition saying you specialize in leveraging cutting-edge AI to optimize operational efficiency and drive sustainable growth. Listeners, notice the strong verbs there. Leveraging, optimize, drive. These aren't just descriptions, they're action-oriented words that tell the CEO what you do for clients. Optimizing operational efficiency means making things work better and faster, while driving sustainable growth is about long-term success, something every CEO wants to hear.
And I wanted to establish immediate credibility.
You did that perfectly with, we've consistently delivered a 20 to 30% improvement in key performance indicators for our clients. Quantifiable results like 20 to 30% improvement are incredibly persuasive. It's not just talk, it's proof. Key performance indicators, or KPIs, is also excellent business jargon that shows you speak their language.
And then, the direct connection to their needs.
Exactly. I believe our expertise could significantly impact your current strategic initiatives. You're not just selling a service, you're offering a solution directly relevant to their big picture goals. Strategic initiatives are high-level projects that CEOs focus on. And finally, your call to action was perfect. I'd love to connect briefly to explore how we might collaborate to achieve your ambitious goals. It's polite, respectful of their time, connect briefly, and immediately shifts to the idea of collaboration, implying a partnership, not just a sale. And ending with ambitious goals shows you understand their vision and are ready to help them reach it.
So it was clear, concise, value-driven, and offered a non-threatening next step.
Absolutely, Brian. This is a prime example of an effective elevator pitch. It's concise, full of impactful vocabulary, highlights quantifiable results, and proposes a collaborative next step. For our listeners, this is exactly the kind of confident, articulate communication that will open doors in English networking. Practice this, record yourself, and listen back. Notice how Brian's tone was confident and his words were carefully chosen for maximum impact. This is the definition of making a strong first impression.
Emily, that was fantastic. I hope our listeners are replaying that 30-second pitch and taking notes. It truly encapsulates the power of effective English communication in professional settings.
I hope so too, Brian. It's all about putting those skills into practice. And speaking of practice, before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap of some of the essential vocabulary we've covered today. These are words that will directly boost your networking efforts.
Excellent idea, Emily. Let's make sure our listeners have these terms locked in. We started with understanding the power of a networking opportunity, that chance meeting or event that could change your career trajectory.
Right, and how those opportunities lead to a connection. forming a bond or link with someone new. It's the beginning of a professional relationship. And to build strong connections, we talked about developing rapport. Remember, that's about building a trusting and harmonious relationship, often through shared understanding or mutual respect.
Exactly. And the foundation of any new connection often starts with a strong first impression. It's not just about what you say, but how you say it, your confidence, and your clarity. And that ties directly into mastering your elevator pitch, a concise, impactful summary of who you are and what value you bring, delivered in a short time frame.
Absolutely. Beyond speaking, we emphasized active listening, which is really crucial. It's about truly understanding and engaging with what the other person is saying, not just waiting for your turn to speak. And when you're at an event, you need to know how to break the ice. Those initial phrases or questions that get a conversation started with someone you don't know.
And after you've broken the ice and had a good chat, you need to know how to effectively follow up. This isn't just sending a quick email. It's about cementing that new connection, perhaps by referencing something you discussed or sharing relevant resources. And over time, you need to nurture those relationships. It means consistently maintaining and growing your professional network, not just connecting and forgetting.
Yes, nurturing leads to long-term collaboration. This is when connections turn into shared projects, partnerships, or working together towards a common goal. Building your reputation in this way also enhances your credibility, your trustworthiness, and expertise in your field. It's essential for people to believe in what you offer.
We also touched on the importance of understanding cultural nuance, the subtle differences in communication and behavior across different cultures. Being aware of these helps you avoid misunderstandings and build stronger international connections. All of these skills contribute to your overall professional growth, expanding your capabilities and career horizons.
And ultimately, all these elements contribute to your influence, your ability to impact decisions, inspire others, and achieve your professional goals through your network. Phew, that's a lot of powerful words and concepts, all designed to help you succeed.
Indeed, Emily. It's a comprehensive toolkit for anyone looking to navigate the professional world with confidence. Now, as a challenge to our listeners, we want you to take what you've learned today and put it into action.
That's right. We encourage you to craft your own 30-second English elevator pitch, just like Brian did. Think about who you are, what you do, and the value you bring. Then, write it down in the comments section below this episode. We'll be checking the best ones and might even highlight them in a future segment. This is your chance to practice and get feedback.
We absolutely love hearing from you and seeing your progress. Your engagement helps us create even better content tailored to your needs. So if you found today's episode helpful, please remember to like, share, and comment. It truly helps YouTube recommend our channel, so more learners around the world can discover us and improve their English networking skills.
Your support means the world to us. And remember this powerful thought. Your network is your net worth. It's not just about the money, but about the opportunities, the support, the knowledge, and the growth that come from the people you know. And now you have the English skills to expand both.
That's a fantastic way to put it, Emily. The power to grow your career and your influence is now in your hands. Thank you for joining us on this journey to master English networking.
It's been a pleasure, Brian, and a huge thank you to all our dedicated listeners. Keep practicing, keep connecting, and keep growing. We'll be back soon with another exciting topic to boost your English and your career.